We're gonna go and change it up. We're gonna use Cineo HS2s to be able to light our green screen with the green phosphor in there. I'm gonna have Eric, my gaffer, who's over on the dimmer, he's going to start bringing up our green screen. Right now it looks, look at that, we've made the green actually black. Now that's when you know you have really nice lighting going on. Look at how beautiful Monette separates out of that with the key light mixed with a nice slightly warm backlight. That looks really nice. All right, so ignite it.
This is 5% right here.
Okay, you gotta keep on coming.
Yet for you, Jane.
Rolling it up.
Okay, rolling it up. That's 10%.
Keep on going.
20.
Keep on going.
30.
Okay,
We're
hold
probably
there.
getting close, right?
Keep on going.
Okay, I'm gonna jump to 40 now. That's 40.
47.
47%, Shane.
Almost there. 40.
You wanna come to 50?
40, yeah, let's commit to 50.
Okay, let's commit.
52.3.
Okay, you sure? Are you sure? Okay, 52.3, enter.
No.
Okay.
55.
55%.
And 57.
57%.
And 62. Ooh, go back. Go to 60.
At 60? That's 60 there?
58.
That's 58.
All right. Now look how easy we were able to dial that in compared to the Kino flows. And that's because it's absolute ultimate control with the HS2s.
So the Cineos, it's the same thing as the tubes. It's emitting the specific wavelength the screen will reflect, but the difference is they spread much more evenly across the screen with many fewer lights and a lot less space and a lot less power.
And a lot less time rigging-wise.
A lot less time rigging. Another thing about the Cineo versus Kino flow is that the Kino only has so many levels. You can take it down, dim it, or make it brighter. Essentially 4 steps. The Cineo lets you dial in exactly that level you want on the screen, which lets you really get it to the exact exposure you want.
2 lights on the left and right side run by just stingers. You're not running head extensions and ballast down on the ground. You're just simply 2 lights that have an incredible amount of spread filling out the sides has enabled you to get a beautifully lit, even screen. A huge part of the success of being able to pull off a good green screen key and nice separation with lighting is the distance that your subject is away from the screen. She is 28 feet away from this 20 by green screen. By having this distance, the green screen is very far away, which means it's not on top of her. So let's kind of look at that. Let's have you back in here for a second, just getting closer to the whole thing. And right off the bat, yeah, stop right there. I'm already starting to see all this green contamination that's happening on her arm and shoulders and hair. See how it's wrapping the side of her hair? Now watch as she moves forward slowly. You're going to see that wrap go away, not only because of the backlight, but because we're moving further away from the screen, because the screen is almost like a light source. Just like this 12 by becomes the light, when she gets very close to that screen, it just wants to wrap right around her, which is going to contaminate, which is very costly. So again, the tape measure is a big part of your success. So right now we have a 20-foot wide screen. And if we go over here and measure in where the Cineo is, that's the center of the light. It's about 4.5 feet in on each side. So 4.5 feet from the edge of the 20 by over, 4.5 feet from the edge of that 20 by over, and you're completely spreading this green very evenly. Now, we have a little shadow there, which is from our KinoFlow barn door that obviously with this exercise, it's giving us the ability to show you all the different lights. But how even that was and how beautiful we were able to dial that in is absolutely what you want to do on a simple green screen like this. You don't need all these Kino lights. You can go with the simple HS2s, 2 lights, 2 stingers, all on one circuit in a very small office space environment or a small stage that you're doing for green screen interviews, and you're up and running and lit incredibly fast. Now we're going to go into a little easier way, a little faster way to light green screens. What I was showing you before with the rock and roll truss and the material lifts can light very large areas. But we want to just concentrate on this kind of 12 by 20 swath of green screen that we have. And we're going to light it with KinoFlows from the left and right side. Now this is done by measuring. Measuring is so important when you're doing this, because where you put the lights has to be equal distance to be able to pull it off and make it equal across the screen. So I look at this fluorescent that I have here, and I'm going to measure how far it is away from the screen. Thank you very much. Okay. This is 12'6". And if you look across the way, that one is exactly 12'6" as well. It's very important to make everything the same. If one is moved in just a foot, then this side is going to be hotter. It's very simple. It's photometrics. And if this one's a little back, then it's going to be a little darker. So now let's pop these on and let's see how well just 2 Kinos from the left and right side to see how we can pull this key. So right off the bat, what's happening with the 2 cross Kinos is it's never going to light the cove correctly. We have that nicely coved, and that can only be done from lights going up. Now what we could do, Eric, is we could elevate those lights a little bit to try and help this. But let's see where we are exposure-wise, because we're definitely down in that area, very, very dark. That's not gonna pull around where her butt is. That's not gonna pull a good key. So let's try that. Let's go up with the lights and just get a slight tilt down to try and make that better.
You got it.
So now we've tilted the KinoFlows ever so slightly, and now we're gonna see if that helps us. So we've gained that bottom area now, so it's not so bad. This is a little hot. So what's your output on the left one?
They're both high output, 4
both
tubes.
high output. So go to 3 tubes on the left one.
Boom.
Okay, now that cleans that up, but now we're looking at this because we've tilted them, we've made this so it's not even.
Exactly.
So if Monette went to her right, move to your right, move to your right, move to your right. So now if we're over like that, that's not gonna be the greatest key over in there because it's dark. So lighting by just using 2 lights, you'd think it would work. With the KinoFlows, you can get somewhat of an even field in the middle, but it's definitely falling off on the edges, and it's pretty difficult to keep balanced. So going from above is definitely your best recourse. Well, let me show you what it would look like if you tried to light the screen with open face 750s that have a very kind of funky field. So let's kill the Kinos.
Let's kill the Kinos, guys, and turn on the 750s.
I love that black.
Let's go. Whoa.
Bam.
Whoa.
Okay, flood those full flood.
I think they are. We'll double check that they're full flood, guys.
Okay, tilt down on the right one. Open the barn door.
Open the barn doors all the way. So we'll just pull all the 4 barn doors back. Let the full circular beam of the light out.
Okay.
So look at all these shadows here.
The shadows,
here.
it's very hot. Okay, let's go measure. Why is that so hot? Flop on the other
He's
side.
a little bit closer on that
You're
side.
a little closer. Spin your leg so you can go over the top of that. There you go.
Yeah.
Nice.
Okay.
Okay. And now
But
go ahead.
hang on a second, Shane. Can you pan that light off again? Just pan it off into the bedroom, your light. There you go, just for a second. So look at this single source that's hitting the screen. Look how uneven it is, even within the beam of the source.
No,
And the
I know.
clove
It's
especially.
dark there, it's hot there, it's dark there.
Yeah.
So lighting it with open face fixtures
Okay, you can pan that back on
is
now.
not really going to be a recipe for success. Now let's pan it back on. Let's see where
Pan
our
left a little
distance
more even.
is.
Pan left a little more with that one. Right there. Okay, let's try that. That's a little better.
12 feet. So we're 12 feet away from the screen, off on the left and right edge, and we're obviously very hot. So let's go back to a 4 on our camera and go ahead and click on all the maxis, please. Let's see if we can get in the ballpark. Okay, now where is that light escaping? I'm getting some uneven because I think it's this silver bounce again. Hey Dave, can you go up a little higher with this 12 by solid here, both of these? Obviously the screen is a little inconsistent here. The bottom is definitely falling off. It's dark across there. We could back the lights up even more to try and light that. But again, when you're working with these type of lights from the side, they're always going to fan out across the bottom in kind of a V. And you always have those crisscrosses that are so difficult to deal with that you then have to hang another light on the top to be able to eliminate the crisscross.
You end up hanging stuff in anyway.
Right.
Essentially.
Exactly.
And also, if somebody gets back into that area, these hard lights are not going to look very good on them.
Correct. So go ahead and back up, Monette. Go into the hard light.
The very back mark you had earlier.
Yeah.
If you can even get
Keep
that
on
far
going.
back. Keep going, keep going. Another few steps, keep going. Keep going. Back up a little more if you can. We start getting into something like that.
When the Kinos were on in white mode, it felt like she was in the environment.
You can get away with it more.
Yeah, it felt like it was ambience, and then she walked into her key light. So these are the kind of things that by lighting a screen this way just limits your possibilities. Yeah, you can see how inconsistent the patterns are. I mean, it's graying out here okay, but it's definitely inconsistent. All right, so now let's go to a Fresnel source. So let's go ahead and kill the 750s. And now we're going to bring in Fresnels.
So that's 407s we're using. We'll put the 407s in the same spot those were, okay? Open those barn doors. Don't burn yourself. And you can use the same power source your open face was plugged into. Here you go.
Lighting with hard sources, you have so many limitations. With the ability to just light from above, it's one equal balance. Now, if I'm working in constricted areas, I can't really get the right angle on my Fresnels to be able to do the half single vibe. Because you can see right now that the middle looks nice, but the left and right edges are hot. When I'm able to take the Fresnel and back it up enough, I like to use the whole half single trick, because obviously this light is much closer to this edge of the green screen than it is over here. So by using a half single, you're able to put this in your light, make it so it just does half of it. It scrims, takes down that left side, and then we do the same on the other side, and let's go back. Okay, so with those Fresnels, let's lose 4 Maxi Brute bulbs, Mark, and open up to a 2 8 3/10. That's 4 bubbles off. 4 off. Okay, go to a 2 8.5. Two 8.5, that is. Go to 4 then. 2 8 7/10. Okay. I mean, it's just very difficult to get this lit within the physical parameters that we have. Even if we're able to get the lights back, you're going to still get the crisscross. She's not going to be able to walk out on the screen. We're not going to be able to get her head to toe. You're going to end up lighting it from above as well.
Do you want to show a comparison of the Cineos directly against this from this 2 Cineos?
Yeah, sure.
Let's turn off the babies right now, please.
Go back to a 4 on the camera.
And that's the Cineo.
Okay, so now we're popping the Cineos on, and we have a beautiful even, that's 4 on the lens now? 4. Okay, now we have a very even spread.
So it's quite a difference from the babies.
Yeah.
We could run these Cineos in tungsten and get the same light spread, the same consistency, but with tungsten light if we needed it.
Exactly, which would give her the ability to be able to move around. Right. Well, that concludes our Fresnel 750 Kinos on stands green screen lighting.